Bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm healthy. I want to stay healthy. I like the idea of what the product is all about. I believe in the body's ability to heal itself, and I also believe that fruits and vegetables from God's great earth are the best way to do that. This is derived right from fruits and vegetables, and there's no extra chemicals involved. And I thought, you know what? If I can just keep my immune system super strong, I'm in favor of it. So far, I've been able to avoid any sicknesses, and I just like to stay out ahead of these things.
Get a wide variety of all your daily recommended servings of whole fruits and vegetables without having to leave your home. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Every score change during Super Bowl 55, someone wins $50,000 in the Rocket Mortgage Super Bowl Squares Sweepstakes. See rules and enter for free at rocketmortgagesquares.com.
7:36. Let's get a check on our roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim.
We are reporting major delays on the Bishop Ford Freeway for the second morning in a row. This time, outbound traffic is jammed. 111th to 130th with a crash now on the right shoulder. 5 vehicles are involved. The trip time is 57 minutes from the split to 8094. Inbound, it's 20 minutes. The Gabers delay from the Steel Bridge to 130th, where everything is open inbound. 57, 16 minutes, I-80 to the right, and the right is 17 minutes from 95th to downtown. Tri-State Tollway southbound at Stern School Road, there's a crash in the left lane. On the Kennedy, we're now looking at 25 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. The Eisenhower, 34 minutes from 390 to downtown. The Stevenson, 31 minutes, 355 to the drive. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Clouds and sun with a high of 32. Mainly clear this evening. Overcast after midnight, though, as clouds begin to roll in, 27, and rain early tomorrow, changing to heavy snow late in the day and a high of 37. 17 right now. Next news coming up at 8. Breaking news as it happens, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
From the Matrix Home Solutions Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy and Democrats, socialists on the Hill moving forward with their $2 trillion funding money plan and for quote-unquote COVID relief. Chuck Schumer, again, saying earlier in this week, one of the most profound statements you'll hear in terms of the honest expression of the Democrat socialist philosophy.
It makes no sense to pinch pennies when so many Americans are struggling. The risk of doing too little is far greater than the risk of doing too much.
That ranks right up there with Joe Biden famously saying during the bailouts of the Obama era, we have to continue spending money to keep from going bankrupt. It turns out that actually there are risks to doing too much with the or pinching pennies, as Schumer, or not pinching, I should say, not pinching pennies, as Schumer said. Give you a sense of where we're at. Phil Gramm, former Senator Phil Gramm, has a good write-up in the Wall Street Journal. Commerce Department data. Total employee compensation in the second and third quarters of 2020 was down by $215 billion. Employee compensation down by $215 billion. Yet government personnel transfers were up $893 billion. So 4.5x the decline in compensation. In the second quarter alone, real capital real per capita disposable income was up 10.5% compared with the first quarter, 25 times as fast as the average quarterly income growth in the prior 2 years. A historical savings rate of 7 to 8% income reached an astonishing 26% in the second quarter. Preliminary data for 2020 show total savings for 2020 was $1.6 trillion higher than in 2019, and that was before the last round, the last $900 billion worth of relief before Trump exited stage right. So it predates what is the $2 trillion on the table. So we don't have a people getting by problem. Yes, I understand some people, yes. But this is not surgical. This is airdropping funny money off the printing press. And there are economic implications to continuing to do so willy-nilly in spite of data like Phil Graham has provided. For more on those implications, we're pleased to be joined by Steve Moore, economist, Wall Street Journal columnist, Trumponomics author. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys. By the way, it also reminds me of when George Bush said, we have to destroy capitalism to save it.
Yeah.
You can't make this stuff up. But this is, I don't know if we should be laughing or crying or running for the high grass right now. The Democrats are acting like fiscal lunatics. This is crazy. They proposed $1.9 trillion in spending. And as we note in our daily hotline this morning, did you know, Dan, Amy, they have $1 trillion from the past 5 stimulus bills they still haven't even spent. It's unbelievable. There's $1 trillion. That's $1 million they haven't even spent, and they insist we need another 1.9.
Well, so
yeah, but why haven't they spent it, though? There's so many small
What's that?
businesses that need help. Why haven't they spent the money? Why is it sitting there?
Well, it's government. It's government. They're incompetent. It just sits in these accounts. And it goes back to 2009. Remember when Obama said it's going to be shovel-ready projects, and for 3 years the money just got gobbled up by the system, and the unemployment rate kept going up and up and up. More government spending is not going to save us. It isn't. And you're so right, Amy. You've got a lot of small businesses and restaurants and shops and stores that are really suffering right now. But obviously, the solution now is to get these stores opened, and I don't know what the status of things is in Chicago. But I think I told you guys last week I was in Florida. Everything's normal in Florida. The stores are open, the beaches are open, the restaurants are open. You can't even get a reservation at a restaurant. It's and it's just night and day in America today. But the most important thing is get the vaccine out there. But $1.9 trillion. By the way, most of the spending in this bill, Dan and Amy, has nothing to do with coronavirus. It's just the Bernie Sanders agenda, $15 on a minimum wage, bail out the mass transit systems, give schools $150 billion. By the way, Dan and Amy, please explain to me why schools that have been shut down for the last 10 months need more money. I mean, it's the most absurd thing I've ever heard.
I know they were supposed to use $25 million, in Chicago and CPS, for PPE and for this HIPAA or air filtration system. And they ended up spending $100 million, and they're still not open.
And are the teachers still on strike, or?
Well, we're at a cooling off period, Mr. Moore. I don't know if you know, a 2-day cooling off.
Cooling off.
And Mayor Lightfoot yesterday blamed the Trump administration, for the impasse between the CPS and CTU because he didn't offer enough vaccines to the teachers.
So the underlying question is, in this quote cooling off period, are the
still
kids
e-learning.
in school?
No kids are in school. No, not.
No,
no,
they're on strike. I mean, it's ridiculous. Most of the, by the way, my kids have been going to, Catholic schools for the last year. They haven't virtually missed a day of school. Do you think anybody's gotten sick? Do you think anybody's died? Do you think any teachers have died? I mean,
No.
We have experiments out there. I mean, we've got private schools that are open every day, ladies and gentlemen, and the teachers aren't getting sick. The kids aren't getting sick. But you know what? The kids are learning. And that's why so many people are shifting their kids out of public schools into private schools. But not one penny of that $1.9 trillion, Dan, write this down, not one penny of that money shall go to a private school, because we cannot allow that. We can't allow the money to go to schools that are functioning. We have to give the money to schools that are not functioning.
That's right. And by the way, on this show, we don't use the S word, strike. Don't use that again. The only S word that the teachers union is talking about is safety. That's the only S word.
Okay.
It's all
I
safety.
can say, and you and I are old enough to remember what the Gipper did in 1981 when he came in and he fired the illegally striking, I'm going to use the S word, I know it's not allowed on the show or in the city of Chicago, the illegal striking of air traffic controllers, and it changed everything. And all of a sudden we had the,
Yeah, the Gipper is not the mayor of Chicago.
Yeah.
I know that's the problem, isn't it?
Well, something else here. Republicans with Trump gone have now gotten back to their, having or quartering whatever craziness the Democrats proposed and calling themselves conservatives. And so that's what 10 senators did with respect to this latest relief plan. And they don't make arguments. They just let the sentimental nonsense from the left go unchallenged. Janet Yellen the Secretary of Treasury saying that the $1.9 trillion is needed to, quote, help families at risk of going hungry or losing the roof over their heads, unquote. Last year, the average household in the bottom quintile of earners received more than $45,000 of government transfer payments from any combination of more than 100 programs and credits. And 22
where do those numbers come from, Dan?
Phil Graham, Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
22.6 million households receive food stamps, and that doesn't even count the rent forbearance going on in New York City and L.A. and California and Illinois and Chicago. I mean, where is the response to say from anybody on the Hill that wears an R to say this is all unnecessary? Why can't somebody make the argument that Phil Graham is making in the Wall Street Journal?
Good question. I mean, look, I believe that every single Republican, my job for the next, month or so until they pass this horrid bill is to make sure that every single Republican in Congress votes against it. Remember what happened? Look, folks, this is a replay of what happened in Obama's first year, and the left is rewriting the history of this. I lived through it. I was the chief economics writer at the Wall Street Journal at the time. We must have written 50 editorials trashing that stupid, what did they call it, shovel-ready projects bill. And what happened was they spent $850 billion, and guess what happened in the next 2 years? The unemployment rate was still 8-9%. I mean, the recession did not end. It was a complete failure. And here's the interesting thing about this story, because it's relevant to what's happening today. Back in around 2011 or 12, I had this famous debate with Paul Krugman. Paul Krugman was the biggest fan of shovel-ready projects. We got to spend. And I showed him the evidence that this was, we actually had fewer jobs after this stimulus bill than we would have had if we had done nothing, according to the Obama administration's own numbers. So it was a complete flop, ladies and gentlemen, a complete flop. And that was very embarrassing to Paul Krugman. And I'll never forget what he said back then, because it's now become the Democratic line. He said, Steve, the reason it didn't work, why didn't it work?
Why didn't the shovel-ready projects work?
Yeah. What do you think the left said why it didn't work?
Oh, not big enough.
Yeah, not big enough. And we laughed them out of the room at that time. I mean, we laughed them out. It was such an absurd. If we had spent $2 trillion rather than $1 trillion, everything would have been just fine. But why is that relevant today? Listen to what Joe Biden. Listen to what Chuck Schumer. You just played the piece by Chuck Schumer. Let's not pinch pennies this time. And even Janet Yellen said it. She said the lesson we learned from 2009 is we didn't spend and borrow enough money, folks. These people are crazy. Their heads are spinning around. They're lunatics. There's no limit. By the way, if this $2 trillion bill doesn't work, are they going to spend and borrow $4 trillion?
Well, what's going to happen to states like South Dakota? I mean, they don't need the federal money right now, because last time she didn't touch it, she said no, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah. Well, this is the big story in America that it's hard to probably, hear when you're there in Chicago in the middle of blue state America. But half of the country is up and running, folks.
Yep.
Look, the recession is in Illinois. It's in New York. It's in New Jersey. It's in California. It's in Connecticut. It's in Rhode Island. It's in Michigan. Gee, what do all those states have in common? They have Democratic mayors and governors who shut down their economies. So why should people in South Dakota and Tennessee and Texas and Georgia and Florida, where things are back to normal, have to bail out the cities and the states that are run by Democrats? I mean, somebody explain the fairness of that to me. Because there's $300 billion in this bill to bail out Illinois, New York, and California.
Steve Moore, economist, Wall Street Journal columnist, author of Trumponomics. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Okay, guys. Sorry, I'm angry today. You can tell.
That's okay.
It's just out.
We love you.
Bye.
All right, good seeing you too, or talking to you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Steve Cortez here. Small business owners and those of you who make marketing decisions for businesses, listen up. 2021 is here. How's your marketing plan? 2021 will be a comeback year for so many small businesses, but you'll bounce back faster if you're getting your marketing message to the right audience. That's why you need to become a Food for the Poor business benefactor. We run this campaign in November and December, but we always have a few slots that open up in January. So don't wait to take advantage of them. Here's how it works. You make a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor to help them as they provide food for children in Latin America and the Caribbean. All that money goes to Food for the Poor. Then, AM 560 gives you 40 60-second commercials to air right here on this station, Monday through Friday, between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Absolutely free. That's the best marketing deal in all of Chicago radio. To become a business benefactor, call Anjanette at 847-472-8951. That's 847-472-8951. Or go online, 560theanswer.com/food for the poor.
Guys, I want to encourage you to make your health a priority this new year. It's easier than you think at Low T Center. They're reinventing the doctor's visit, making it quick and easy to get all of your levels checked, not just your testosterone. They offer a comprehensive health assessment so you know all your numbers. If you've been feeling tired, grumpy, have lack of motivation and drive, notice weight gain and loss of muscle mass, these could all be signs of low testosterone, low thyroid, or even sleep apnea. Low T Center will help determine the cause of your symptoms and help you get back to feeling your best. It all starts with their quick and easy health assessment covered by most health insurance. And they now offer monitored, self-inject, at-home testosterone treatments, providing convenience, and additional health monitoring measures for your safety, including a take-home blood pressure monitoring cuff. Self-inject at-home treatments are $135 a month for self-pay or covered by most health insurance. To schedule your health assessment, go to lowtcenter.com. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Gatto Industrial Platers, Inc. is the specialist in zinc and zinc nickel plating. Gatto is big, they're good, and they're easy to work with. Their high production rack plating line has up to a 27-foot capacity to handle any zinc plating requirement. Gatto's 210,000 square foot facility can process 300 tons per day and offers complete custom packaging with available pickup and delivery in the Chicago metro area by Gatto's own fleet of trucks. All of Gatto's products are inspected and certified to ensure that each customer is receiving the best and most cost-effective plating protection. Gatto is home to King Kong, the largest zinc plating line in North America that can zinc plate parts up to 27 feet long and weighing up to 8,000 pounds. For a quote and fast 24 to 48-hour service, call George Gatto Jr. or George Gatto Sr. at 1-800-290-1223. That's 1-800-290-1223. 1-800-290-1223.
I'm doing it right now, taking Balance of Nature. What I like to do is heat up some water, then break open those 6 capsules. And with that, you're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. And you hear stories on this station all the time about how people's lives have changed by taking Balance of Nature. Well, those are not actors. Those are real, satisfied customers